Good morning, everyone. Welcome back for another video. This is the week 21 update for September 30th through October 6th. Last week, I let the cat out the bag that I had hit a low of last Monday of 169.8. And for the week 21 update, that's exactly what my low weigh-in was for that whole week, 169.8, which was down 2.4 pounds from week 20. I fluctuated between that 169 and about 173 all last week, but you know, that's how it goes. I should be used to it at this point. It's still kind of hard to get used to, but that's what it was. I had a low of 169.8, and that is that. There wasn't really anything eventful. I hit my step goal count, I think only like 5 out of the 7 days last week. So at this point, if I haven't said it already, my step goal for October is 7,000 steps. So all of September, I was kind of slacking, and then the last week I went strong and did my 6,000 steps and met that goal for the whole last week of September. And then I am trying to stop being so casual and lackadaisical. I mean, I want this to be easy and I don't want to stress myself out, but it is time to push myself just a little bit more. So I set my step goal count up to 7,000 with the hopes that increasing it 1,000 steps on the first of each month between now and January. By January, I will hopefully but start the goal of 10,000 steps a day, and in hopes of keeping it that way for the foreseeable future. So I worked out 5 days last week. I am on track to do the same this week. I am doing the Carolyn Gervin Iron program, which is only 30-minute workouts, 5 days a week. You can set your rest days up how you want. I've done mine for working out Monday through Friday with Saturday and Sunday to rest, because I do work atypical schedule. I don't work Monday through Friday 9 to 5. I work, what do I work? I work Thursday through Monday, swing shift, and I have Tuesdays and Wednesdays off. So because it can get so hectic and I'm trying to keep my stress levels at bay, I feel like I would feel better if I just knocked it out, the working out Monday through Friday, because it's just 30 minutes. And of course I could do it on the weekend, but the weekend, even though I'm working, it just feels like the time to just chill and keep as few things on my plate as possible. Everybody's home, everybody needs to eat, something always needs to be done. The weekends can sometimes be honestly more stressful than the weekday. Because once the kids are off to school and my husband's at work, it's like I can kind of breathe. I can be in the house talking to myself all I want to, paying bills, cleaning, doing that sort of thing. So that's how my week 21 went. I can't believe it's been 21 weeks. And I don't know why I say I can't believe it. Maybe I need to think of another way of expressing it, because the time goes by so fast. And I just think of all the years I wasted where it's like, okay, January 1st, I'm gonna go hard, and by summertime, I'm gonna be looking good. And the years have just flown by. But I guess it's encouraging to know, and maybe I'm just kind of beside myself, that I've even done something like this for me. And the time passed anyway, and the time still went by fast. And here I am at a dream weight. Since May 13th, I have lost 37 pounds, almost like losing my breath saying it. 37 pounds. I don't know why. I feel a little emotional today. 37 pounds since May. Because I think of all the prior years where I told myself, I just need to lose like 30 or 40 pounds. That should only take like 5 or 6 months. I should be able to do that. All that internalized pressure that led to nowhere but failed attempts. And not even that I got lazy and gave up, but the power of the brain and the power of food put together is just incredible sometimes. And I don't know all the science behind it. I don't know why it's that way. It feels like here in America, we struggle more than necessary. There's probably something to that. I don't want to get into all that, but I just am kind of getting on here to vent about how my life has gone. But at the same time, there's nothing I can do about the past. I have spent decades being the type of person who lived in the past, who agonized over the past. Oh, I should have did this. I could have did this. How come I didn't? Literally beating myself, sometimes beating myself up on a daily basis about almost every aspect of life. And that is what's also fascinating about the brain. Once your brain gets used to that pathway of negativity, whether it's directed at yourself or someone else, it just becomes that much easier to continue down that path, and always your mind always going that direction. So part of my glow up, it can seem superficial, like it is just weight, but the internal is just as important, if not more important, than the external. And depending on who you are, the internal glow up may have to come first. For me, that's what happened. I tried this same exact time last year to work on the external, and it was December through probably February or March of this year, actually through June or July, to be honest, that the internal work that I did on myself was the most pivotal moment, and so crucial. It was so uncomfortable, painful, but let me tell you, the thought of staying the same was even more uncomfortable. And I want to say that's where the turning point comes on glowing up. You know, it's a cutesy phrase. I haven't yet come up with any other way to call it, but the glow up can look like, you know, those gorgeous YouTube thumbnails of girls in a private jet, and they're slender and they're gorgeous and they're champagne and their nails are wonderful. But let me tell you, an internal glow up, if done right, can feel like you are on your own private jet, because there is an internal contentment that you feel with yourself that is unmatched, and it's priceless. So I don't even know if my analogy made sense. Maybe I'm over here trying to be too inspirational, but I'm just trying to put into words the importance of working on yourself. And maybe I can really just speak to the busy moms out there in this chapter of life where your children are in school and they still need help being fed and dressed and all of the things. And you think that once they're not a toddler anymore, once they're not in kindergarten anymore, that things get easier. It doesn't. It's just the hard things change, and they need you just as much, if not more, but in different ways. And that's where I found that I had to stop, halt the press, and work on myself, or I was not going to survive. And even though I have had moments where I've battled with myself about feeling guilty for putting myself first, I've heard this analogy before, you've probably heard it before. It's like the oxygen mask on the plane. You cannot help someone else out if you do not have your oxygen flowing. So now I am in a very good routine. I've got my stride with taking care of myself. And a lot of times I do have to wait and maybe put myself on the back burner for just a hot second. It's definitely some mental gymnastics, the daily, weekly, monthly juggling act of when to put yourself first, because there's competing priorities. But let me tell you, since starting my glow up, that little small hurdle, no, it's a huge hurdle, of feeling selfish, for that moment, once you get over that, for me personally, has been transformative. I am now like making dinner all the time, getting up early and making my children breakfast. No, I did not do that before because I was so exhausted. I couldn't even peel myself out of the bed to get them to school on time. So it's like that oxygen mask. I have given myself a lifeline to now I have the energy, the patience, the fortitude, and the wherewithal to serve others, to take care of my husband in the way that I've always wanted to, but take care of anyone that's important in my life, my husband and children, to not feel resentful about it. Because really, how can I feel resentful towards someone that hasn't really asked much of me? It's my own fault for not taking care of myself and prioritizing myself in a way that will allow me to be a better spouse and parent. So now what else do I do? What if I'm not even recording? That would suck if I was not even recording. Now I naturally am back to my goofy self. I've always been kind of a goofy girl, but I know when my stress level is low and manageable, when I'm just a goofball, to be quite honest. I probably look too big and grown to be this goofy, but I am, and I can laugh and joke with my children, whereas before things used to sometimes, and maybe not even to them, but just me being hard on myself, things felt so transactional. And even not showing affection, I show my kids affection a lot every single day. But inside, it felt like, okay, next I need to kiss them. Next I need to feed them. Next I need to do laundry. Next I need to, it's just this constant maniacal carousel of things that need to be done. And these internal voices that are like, okay, well, you should have did that. You should have did that. Okay, next we have to do this, and you have to make an appointment, and you got to get them here, and you got to get them there. What about their homework? Are they progressing well at school? What are their grades like? Are they healthy? Are you even feeding them enough? Are you feeding them healthy food? Are they being cared for emotionally? And maybe that's anxiety. Maybe this isn't a normal thing for most mothers out here, but that's my story. And that's what I have dealt with for 14 years. So you could see how at this point, I had gotten so exhausted. But if I had to pick a regret from my glow up journey at this point, is that I did not start sooner. But something I told my husband the other day, we were talking about, I think, all the things that we had been through. I mean, just, that could be a whole nother YouTube channel, okay? And I finally have gotten to this point of self-forgiveness. And I have finally, and I knew I had to change this about myself, but I just did not know how. I knew I had to stop being so insecure. I knew I needed to stop beating myself up living in the past. I just didn't know how. And I might have to do a whole nother video to try and describe where it changed for me and what work I did on myself to get to this point, to where I told going back to that conversation with my husband, I told him, I said, it had to happen this way. I don't even know, I've never said that in my life. I've never thought that in my life. But it was that moment where we were talking about this craziness of all the things that we have done and we have been through. And I told him it had to happen that way. And in a lot of ways, it's so true. We can make the past seem worse than it is, the present better than it is, or what do they say? We can just feel differently about the reality of what the past, present, and future is like. And sure, there are things that could have been different, but would I have reacted, and made perfect choices like in my head I thought I would have for the past 10, 15 years? Probably not. And I think it really is true. It had to happen this way. I had to go through these growing pains, whether I'm a late bloomer or not, or if this is really just life and we kind of get a little too caught up in self-improvement and perfectionism thanks to social media. I don't know, but I feel strongly that it had to happen this way. And I'm so grateful that I am where I am. So I hope your week is going well. I hope you're meeting your goals, crushing your goals. If not, get back up and try again. Stop thinking about what you shoulda, woulda, coulda did. You can't change anything about that. The only way is forward. Start right now. Don't start tomorrow. Don't start Monday. Don't start in January. Start right now with something small that you know you can achieve by the end of the day or within the next 24 hours. Something small and achievable that will make you feel good, even if it's just for a few minutes, and even maybe write it down. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in again. And thank you so much for just being here, period. If you've subscribed, thank you. I have gained over 100 new subscribers just in the past 28 days. YouTube has changed my life. And I saw those headlines on thumbnails as I was thinking about possibly starting this channel. And I'm like, okay, I keep seeing this exact same thumbnail heading. Is this some little like YouTube Academy that's telling people to pump out these videos like this? What's going on? But honestly, my life has literally changed with having less than 300 subscribers. And starting this YouTube channel has actually made me more grateful. And I feel more privileged than I've ever felt in my whole life. Because when I stopped to think about the fact that within a few days of posting my first video, I had, I think, 14 subscribers. I woke up so ecstatic, running downstairs to tell my husband and kids. And I just didn't even realize I was going to react like that. We're so used to following people and seeing people that have 50,000 subscribers, 700,000, a million, 2 million. And sometimes it almost feels like anything under 500,000 or 100,000 is like, oh yeah, it's not that much. Hello, 50,000, that is like the size of a small to medium town. 50,000 people, there's gonna at least be a Target and a Walmart, okay? When you think about that many people who are listening to what you have to say, is such a privilege, such a privilege. And I know you probably have to have a certain number of followers for some people whose goal is to make this like their full-time income or something like that. That's been in the back of my mind. Of course, I would love that. But at the very minimum, I just wanted to show up as myself and see what happened, to be authentic, because I was never going to get on here and be someone I'm not just for the sake of making money. So I'm trying to come full circle with my thought. My full circle thought was, I'm picturing 285 people showing up to my house for a barbecue. I would be freaking out. So it is not lost on me, all 200 and some of y'all who have subscribed to my channel and watch my videos. Thank you so very much. I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate the comments so much. I just never in my life thought I would feel this connected to people with similar experiences and shared emotions about certain things. It probably would have really changed my life as a mother, because it can feel like such a lonely, isolating experience when you're in the thick of it, of raising children. So anyways, again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one.